Welcome to the English Key Stage 1 information presentation for 2020. Hopefully this will be useful in outlining the aims of the curriculum for English in Years 1 and 2, and will show you a little more about what this subject looks like and how it is delivered in our school. There will also be tips on how you can support your child at home and where to find further information on our school website. The overarching aim for English in the national curriculum is to promote high standards of language and literacy by equipping pupils with a strong command of spoken and written word, and to develop their love of literature through widespread reading for enjoyment. These aims ensure that all pupils read fluently with good understanding, doing so regularly for pleasure and to seek information. Through their reading, children will acquire a rich and wide vocabulary which will enable them to write clearly, accurately and coherently, adapting their language and style in and for a range of contexts, purposes and audiences. The children should also develop their speaking and listening skills in order to discuss, elaborate and explain their understanding and ideas clearly to others. Through the programmes of study, the children will learn to compose their own sentences and use exciting language, all whilst developing and improving their handwriting. There is a distinct focus on using talk to develop understanding and ideas before committing these to paper. The quality and variety of language that pupils hear and speak are vital for developing their vocabulary and grammar, and their understanding for reading and writing. The children become skilled readers as their phonics develop in order to help them recognise known words and decode those unfamiliar to them. Good comprehension is taken from their understanding of grammar and a wide vocabulary that can be broadened not only through reading but also experiencing the world and discussing what they see and do. Chatting at home about their day, their discoveries and their ideas is key in deepening understanding, so engage in it as often as you can. In Key Stage 1, we enjoy text from a variety of authors and use inspiring topics to develop literacy skills. The children will read, act out, invent and write in all sorts of genres including stories, poems and non-fiction texts, developing their vocabulary and understanding of sentence structure and composition as they do. Please take a look at the school website for further information about curriculum coverage in Years 1 and 2. You will see that strong cross-curricular links are made with topics in geography and history and also include significant events and religious festivals. For example, the children in Year 2 are encouraged to engage in the history and drama of the Great Fire of London, and in Year 1 are inspired by life in Australia, and Barnaby Bear arrives in class. We help him to find out about the UK, compare it to Australia and create a holiday brochure for him. These topics are all explored and used to inspire creative thinking for writing. All of the children are continually assessed throughout the year, and then a teacher assessment is made in the summer term to determine if they have reached the expected standard for Year 1 or Year 2. Most will, and some others will work towards or at a greater depth of the expected standard. All children are supported in order to achieve the expected standard and are given extra support, guidance and challenge where appropriate. By the end of the key stage, all children are expected to work with greater independence and to show a confident grasp of the skills for reading and writing in preparation for Key Stage 2. As young children often use more complex language in speech than in writing, we aim to provide many opportunities for structured talk, role play and drama to practice skills such as storytelling orally, therefore building confidence for transferring these ideas to their writing. The children love opportunities to act and pretend to be characters from fiction and non-fiction, and always produce some great writing after these activities. We also use story maps and plans to capture ideas before sharing them out loud with partners or groups. Finally, the children write down their ideas, which can be edited and improved by reading work back and checking carefully. Work is shared and celebrated, as it is important for children to understand who we are writing for and how to engage their audience. Explicit knowledge of grammar is very important, as it gives us more conscious control and choice in our language. We model how to punctuate sentences correctly, and also how to use conjunctions to join and extend sentences effectively. Children are encouraged to edit their own work, looking for any errors in spelling or punctuation, or for words they can change or add for greater detail. All children will learn specific spelling patterns and rules and begin to apply them in their writing. They will look at the possessive apostrophe, homophones and near homophones and suffixes. However, the children in Year 1 will have a greater focus on learning the phonics skills for decoding and practice applying them to spelling by adopting the correct graphemes. There is also a set of common exception words for each year group, which the children are expected to be able to read and write most of by the end of each respective year group. We informally test the children on these words frequently in school during the year and continually assess their ability to read and spell them independently. We play lots of games and learn different strategies to help the children when spelling independently. There are also weekly dictation sessions which incorporate spelling patterns in phrases or sentences. The children listen to these being read out and write them down using knowledge of strategies and practice from the taught spelling sessions. We encourage children to regularly practice spelling words at home so that they can then use them correctly in their written work. Please remember that we're aiming for the children to apply their spellings to written tasks and not just learn them by rote. It may help when supporting your child at home to read out a sentence with the words in, or to play games on Spelling Shed and other websites as directed by class teachers. Hangman is a great game too. Discrete handwriting sessions are taught to encourage the children to form upper and lower case letters accurately and in the correct direction, starting and finishing in the right place. Sweep-ups are taught to show how letters start and end on the line and how they can be joined correctly. Although these sessions are delivered weekly, all writing provides essential practice so children are reminded daily to use these skills whenever they're completing a written task. Reading widely and often increases children's vocabulary because they encounter words they would rarely hear or use in everyday speech. It also fires up their imaginations and curiosity, often seen by teachers during class story time and guided sessions, which more often than not spark moments of chat, investigation and delight. It is no wonder then that these skills are shared and celebrated in many ways at St Alfred's, and we encourage all children to develop these skills by engaging in reading enthusiastically both at home and at school. Reading skills are used as a basis for writing, and we provide opportunities to enjoy a variety of written and multimedia texts for English and topic work. Books from the school scheme are sent home to be shared and discussed with an adult, and our school library is a valuable treasure trove for all children to hopefully enjoy again as soon as possible. All children are heard on a one-to-one basis during the week by a teacher or teaching assistant. We also lead guided sessions which provide opportunities to share and discuss texts in small groups. Shared reading is when a text is read for all to enjoy. We may share a story or text as part of a lesson or just for fun. All of these opportunities help the children to develop the breadth and depth of their reading. We don't rush or plough through texts at school, and we would ask you at home to focus on the quality of reading, questioning and understanding, instead of thinking about where your child is on the reading scheme. Reading skills are split into two strands, word reading and comprehension. Word reading is often established quickly as children master these skills in phonics, which can give the impression that children should be moved on quicker to harder texts. However, comprehension gives us lots to explore, even if the text is read confidently with fluency and expression. As comprehension skills develop, we encourage the children to focus more on the meaning of text by predicting, inferring and explaining the events or actions of the characters, not only from the information that is given to us, but also by reading between the lines. This is the aspect that can be trickier for children to learn, so lots of practice is essential. Through discussion, we encourage children to clarify the meanings of new words and try to make links to vocabulary they are familiar with by drawing on what they already know or on background information provided. We want the children to interrogate texts, asking and answering their own questions and checking that the text makes sense to them, correcting any inaccurate reading as they go. Although direct retrieval of information is important, good comprehension is key. Here we need to use the skills of inference to answer the questions. Can you have a go? How did you do? This activity shows that inference skills can be applied to text and images, and that the skills built through reading are really valuable in allowing children to become confident when answering questions about information presented in different ways. It is really lovely activity to complete with children and something that can easily be replicated at home when chatting about information presented in magazines, newspapers and films, as well as their reading books. Here are some other ways that we may pose questions. Direct retrieval requires children to locate the answer in the text. Sometimes we may provide multiple choice answers, as with the example shown, and other times we may expect an answer from memory or from skimming and scanning back over the text being used. Knowledge of the sequence of events is also important, so this example of a ranking and ordering question is really good and can be easily adapted for any text. Keep it simple for beginners or reflect on a lengthier text for a challenge. Find and copy encourages the use of skimming and scanning for key information. For open-ended questions, children should use their own ideas based on the information given in the text and of their wider knowledge and experiences to give their answer. This is the terminology we expect children to be familiar with and use by the end of Key Stage 1. There is a glossary on our website from the National Curriculum which breaks down all terminology used. There are so many ways you can support your child, but praise and encouragement are key, even for the little things as they may be big things for the children. Talk using technical terminology when completing homework tasks. Spot the adjectives, find adverbs together, or go on a verb hunt. You can promote reading by encouraging positive habits. Share bedtime stories, tell your children stories, you don't always have to read, and visit the library and bookshops when possible and safe to do so. Remember to talk first. Discuss ideas, make story maps, capture thoughts together, and develop ideas through questioning and encouragement. A little goes a long way, and a 5-minute chat with you might be all it takes to provide the confidence for your child to get on with their task with more independence. You can always offer to check their work once they have had a go, and then discuss changes you could make together if needed. Thank you very much for taking the time to listen.